Helmut walked up to the tree to check the wire. He noticed that the wire was made of steel. He was thankful that Bashir did not come across this trap. Our boy knew that Bashir would have died if he came across such a trap. Helmut immediately turned around to check his surroundings for more traps. Fortunately, there were no more traps in the area. While Helmut was looking around, he spots something moving in the forest. Our boy decided to find out what it was. When he walked up to the entity, he saw a deer that was tied down. Our boy immediately realized that the deer was a bait that his hunter set out. He realized that Bashir might have followed that bait and fell into the trap. Helmut took out his arrow and decided to take the deer with him. He shot the deer with his arrow. In the next scene, we see that the students have returned back to the base. The students placed the bodies of their catch on the mat. Among the animals on the ground was a bear. The students and the instructors were shocked to see the bear. Asuka rested on his catch with a confident smile on his face. The other students were annoyed to see the mad dog smiling. They could not believe that a bear was actually in the forest. James asked Asuka if Helmut helped him catch the bear. The mad dog was annoyed to hear this. He told James that Helmut also has his own pride. He reminded James that our boy caught something else. When the redhead turned to our boy, he saw him standing next to a deer. Instructor Alan was happy to see the deer that Helmut caught. He told our boy that deer meat is delicious. After looking through the animals which his students caught, Alan commended them on their hunt. He decided to reveal the prizes for the hunt. The 5th place gets 10 Academy meal tickets. 4th place gets high-quality quill and an ink set. 3rd place gets 10 Academy bookstore gift certificates. 2nd place gets a pass to use a private training ground. The students began to smile when they heard the prizes. According to Alan, the 1st place gets all the prizes of each positions. With a confident smile on his face, Asuka rested his hand on our boy, believing that he was going to take 1st place. Asuka told Helmut that he does not need the quill and the ink set. He asked our boy if he has anything he wants from him. While the students were cheering, Alan decided to announce the results of the hunt. The scene shifts and we see Helmut and his teammates around a campfire. While staring at the fire, James told his teammates that it is a rare privilege to have a private room. He explained to them that only someone like Aaliyah has such privileges. The person who was granted the private room was only given access to it for a week. Of course, this is still quite amazing for a mere hunting competition. With a cocky smile on his face, James called Asuka 2nd place and asked him to enjoy his room. The mad dog could not believe that he actually got 2nd place. It did not make sense to him. Asuka began to complain. He reminded his friends that he caught a bear. He could not believe that he was given 2nd place for catching a bear. He asked his teammates to tell him if there is anything more impressive than catching a bear. Andrew reminded Asuka that a student named Bruce brought back a fox with silver fur. Instructor Alan and Instructor Patricia had never seen any animal like the fox. Dino revealed to Andrew that he was also shocked when he saw the fox. He assumed that Bruce caught a mythical creature. Our boy decided to comfort Asuka. He reminded the mad dog that he has always wanted a private training room. He told Asuka that the room is better than Quill. Asuka knew that our boy was right, but he still wanted to take 1st place. While grunting, Asuka remembered that Helmut was also given a prize. He asked our boy about his prize. Helmut told the mad dog that he was given 10 Academy meal tickets for taking 5th place. The other boys thanked Asuka for catching a bear. They were eager to taste bear meat. Asuka told the boys that anyone who was not able to get a catch will handle the meat preparations. The mad dog believed that this was fair because he was the one who caught the animal. The boys became silent when they heard this. They all stared into the fire. While the boys were looking into the fire, Andrew told the boys that it feels lonely without their 3 teammates. Although they did not say anything, the other members felt the same thing as Andrew. Bashir left the group after his incident. As for the other 2, something happened some hours earlier. While taking Bashir back to the base, Wesley climbed a bridge. The bridge collapsed and Wesley also got injured. Michel fell into a pit trap and injured his leg while hunting. Michel's fractures were so severe that he had to be rushed back to the academy. Now there are only 5 boys left in the group. Dino told his teammates that they are very unlucky. He could not believe that only their group had 3 accidents in one day. Andrew revealed to his teammates that Instructor Patricia asked them if they want to reassemble the group. While his teammates thought that they were unlucky, Helmut knew that the accidents was no coincidence. Our boy realized that his hunter was trying to pick off the people around him one by one. He could not believe that his hunter would rather use such an underhand method than to face him directly. Helmut wondered if he should just share the situation with the boys. While he was thinking, Dino told his teammates that he hopes that their friends are okay. Asuka believed that this was a stupid question. He reminded Dino that the three boys have returned to the academy. He told him that the boys are probably enjoying the comfort of their beds. He told Dino that they need to worry about themselves, especially since they will be spending the night on the ground with a piece of clothing starting the next day. Dino and James were shocked to hear Asuka's response. James could not believe that Asuka would be such a heartless bastard. Andrew could not believe that the teams would be camping separately away from their instructors starting the next day. He asked his teammates if they will not encounter any traps. James hoped that their team would be able to return safely without the help of their instructors. Upon hearing the boys speak about their worries, Helmut decided to not share any details about the situation. Our boy realized that he would be creating unnecessary anxiety. Fortunately, the teams would only be partaking in group activities for the rest of the trip. Helmut was certain that he could keep the group safe as long as he stays close to them. The next day, we see the students walking away from the base. Helmut used a map to show his teammates the location which they were assigned to. He told the boys that they will be able to get to their location within 4 hours if they use their horses. After saying this, Helmut closed the map and the boys began their journey. After traveling for a while, the boys arrived at their destination. The moment the boys arrived, James told our boy that he has something to show him. The redhead took Helmut to a place near a spring. James explained to our boy that the ground is flat so they can sit and rest. More importantly, they have a spring so they do not need to walk around to search for some water. James believed that their group was lucky to find a nice spot in the middle of the mountains. Helmut got down from his horse and walked up to the spring. Our boy dipped his hand into the spring and took a small amount of water to taste. Helmut was relieved to see that the water was not poisoned. He did not want to go through the same problem he faced when he traveled with the noble lady. While Helmut was next to the spring, Asuka walked up to him. The mad dog was surprised to see that Helmut rushed to the spring the moment he saw it. He asked Helmut if he was quite thirsty. Our boy did not know how to respond to Asuka's question. While the boys were looking around, Dino suggested that they unload and rest for a while. He reminded the boys that they arrived earlier than the original time. He told them that they have time to spare. James told the boys that they still have a lot of food from yesterday. He told them that he will try to get some firewood later. As the boys slowly unpacked, our boy looked around the area. In the evening, we see that the boys have set up their camp. The boys sat outside and gathered around the campfire. They all stared intensely into the fire. A sad and melancholic vibe was in the air. When our boy looked around, he could tell that his teammates were really down. Of course, our boy understood why his teammates were anxious. 3 of their members were injured and sent back to the academy. This was enough to make the students worry. While the boys were looking at the fire, Helmut stood up. Dino asked our boy if he needs something. Helmut told the boy that they are low on firewood. He told him that he wants to get some more. Asuka stood up and told our boy that he wants to go with him. The mad dog did not like the vibe which his teammates were giving. Our boy was annoyed to see that Asuka would not leave him alone. As the forest grew darker, the boys searched for some wood. After he was done searching, Asuka asked our boy if the wood he got is enough. Helmut commended the mad dog for helping him search. He revealed to him that they cannot use the wood which he found because they are wet. Asuka was surprised to hear this. He asked Helmut if they cannot just use any wood. Our boy explained to Asuka that wet wood will not catch fire. Asuka was annoyed to see that the forest was so dark. It was hard for the mad dog to see anything. He told Helmut that he will not be able to keep his eyes open when they get to Baden because of the bright lights in the city. While Asuka was talking, our boy was looking around. The mad dog was annoyed to see that Helmut was not responding to him. He stood up and asked Helmut to try talking. Helmut ignored the mad dog and asked him to focus on getting the wood. Asuka was surprised to hear this. He called our boy a cold-hearted bastard. Since Helmut was not talking to him, Asuka decided to sing to himself. While he was singing, Helmut called out to him. The mad dog was surprised to hear our boy's voice. He immediately told Helmut that he is allowed to sing. Helmut ignored Asuka's statement and gave him the wood which he collected. While looking around, he asked Asuka to take the wood back to the camp. Asuka was surprised to hear this. He asked Helmut if something is wrong. Our boy told his friend that he has something urgent to take care of. The mad dog immediately understood what Helmut was talking about. He asked our boy if his problem is a big one. Asuka turned around and asked Helmut to do his business far away so that it does not smell. The mad dog did not understand why Helmut had been relieving himself ever since they came to find some wood. The moment Asuka left, our boy walked into the forest. Inside the forest, we see a man sharpening a stake. Helmut stepped out of the shadows to greet the man. He asked the man if he is prepared to his satisfaction. Our boy placed his hand on his sword and walked towards his hunter. The hunter turns out to be Fascio the entertainer. Fascio thanked Helmut for accepting his invitation. He told him that he enjoyed his pre-work thanks to him. Fascio believed Helmut had some questions for him. He asked our boy to sit down on a log so that they can chat. Fascio continued sharpening his stake when Helmut sat down. He told our boy that he is in a good mood because he can finally talk to him face to face. He explained to Helmut that he has gotten tired of watching him from afar. He asked him to tell him how it feels to see his hunter. Helmut told the entertainer that he has a weird taste in masks. Due to the fact that Fascio was hiding his face, our boy became certain that his hunter is quite shady. Fascio told Helmut that he is quite different from other preys. According to the entertainer, when most people realize that they are being targeted, they try to run away. However, Helmut is different. He constantly tried to catch his hunter. Fascio could not believe that Helmut actually acted like he was the true hunter. Helmut did not say anything to the man when he heard what he said. Fascio explained to our boy that he revealed himself to him in order to give him a last chance. The entertainer told Helmut that they both have a lot of things in common. Immediately he said this. Fascio placed his hand into his pocket and took out something. He threw the thing at Helmut. The moment the thing got close to him, Helmut placed his hand on his sword. To our boy's surprise, Fascio threw a worm at him. The moment he threw the worm at Helmut, Fascio introduced himself to him. He told our boy that he is the entertainer of the Dark of Hawkeye, an elite group that is directly under the leader of the Black Hawk. Fascio has the authority to recruit useful members into the group. He told Helmut that he is too talented for him to die in such a place. He asked our boy to join the Black Hawk by eating the worm. He revealed to him that the worm will eat his heart out if they do not provide him with a special medicine. He assured Helmut that the worm has no other side effects. Fascio explained to our boy that his men are waiting to kill his teammates if he refuses. He asked Helmut to think carefully before doing anything. Our boy glared at Fascio when he heard this. He told the entertainer that he is lying. Helmut believed that Fascio was not someone who could command subordinates. Fascio asked our boy to believe whatever he wants. Helmut found it odd that Fascio would kill nobles. He asked the entertainer if he will be all right after killing nobles. Fascio explained to Helmut that all nobles are not equal. He told him that he already sent all the important nobles away. Our boy immediately realized that Fascio was referring to his 3 teammates. The entertainer placed his hand on his head and asked Helmut to not overthink things. He told our boy that he never had a choice from the beginning. According to Fascio, the only way for Helmut to survive is if he accepts his offer. The moment Fascio said this, Helmut took a look at the worm. After staring at it for a while, our boy closed his eyes. He seemed to be disappointed. Helmut could not believe that Fascio actually told him that they have a lot in common. He used his leg to crush the worm and took a stance. He told the entertainer that he did not properly look into him. The moment Helmut said this, he rushed to attack him. Fascio threw his stake at a trap button in order to trigger a trap. Multiple steel wires came out of the ground and tried to tear Helmut apart. Unfortunately for Fascio, such traps could not stop our boy. Helmut imbued his sword with vis and used it to cut through the wire. Our boy closed the gap between himself and the entertainer. With a menacing look on his face, Helmut told Fascio that the whole problem will be solved if he kills him now. Our boy swung his sword and tried to tear Fascio apart. To his surprise, Fascio's body turned into red smoke and disappeared in front of him. The entertainer reappeared next to Helmut. Helmut could not comprehend what was happening. Fascio took out a knife and placed it on a wire. He told our boy that he threw away his chance. He assured Helmut that he will not leave the forest alive. The moment he said this, Fascio cut the wire. Immediately he cut the wire. Several projectiles closed in on our boy. Helmut was shocked to see what was coming towards him. Guys, we have come to the end of our video. If you guys want part 33 of this recap, let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button for more recaps. See you guys later.